boreholes, suspended water tanks. These are common sights in Nigeria, especially in the rural areas. They are commissioned, usually with fanfare. Despite these, access to water by the average Nigerian is dismal. In fact, Nigeria is counted among the 18 countries in the world that are going backwards rather than forward towards the Millennium Development Goals.
If you go to most of the rural areas, you will see different water schemes. You will see, like in the Niger Delta, you will see Niger Delta Basin Development Authority water scheme abandoned, completed and abandoned. You will see the old unpadded water scheme. You will see the state government water scheme, and you will see the local government water scheme, all in one village, and none of them appear to be functioning.
Sanitation is even worse. Open defecation is still commonplace. Refuse disposal, a huge challenge even in Nigeria's capital city. Official records show that only about half of Nigeria's 168 million population have access to safe water, while just 3 out of every 10 Nigerians can boast of decent toilets and other sanitary facilities. Nigeria is way behind countries which look up to it.
It's a little bit depressing because we are categorized among the countries that are off track, that are fragile, countries that are vulnerable as it pertains to availability, access to affordable clean water and sanitation. Many of the countries, even some of the other African countries around us, have gone. They've met their targets for MDG. For water and for sanitation, some as much as 98%.
Even post-conflict Sierra Leone and Liberia have made better progress than Nigeria in the race to the MDGs.
Every single Nigerian has a right to safe water, improved sanitation and hygiene services. And one thing Nigeria must do differently is to ensure that there's a human rights approach to our budgeting process.
The consequences of the negligence of water and sanitation issues are glaring. For instance, between 70 and 85% of patients in Nigerian hospitals suffer from waterborne diseases. 90% of premature, including under 5 deaths, which is 178 out of every 1,000 live births, is attributable to poor water, sanitation and hygiene. Bad as they are, these are not the only consequences.
When people are sick, they cannot work. And what happens is that the country loses in terms of its national income. And that's what I mean, that if we really want to grow, we must take care of this water and sanitation problem.
It's a world where there are more cell phones than toilets and taps to deliver safe drinking water. And the consequences are dire, especially for sub-Saharan Africa. And once in a while, world leaders gather far away from the epicenter of the water and sanitation crisis to seek solutions. At this year's World Bank spring meetings, water and sanitation were major issues.
I believe all our governments should be active members of this partnership so that where they lack adequate resources, the partnerships like this one would help them mobilize internationally to top up on what they can provide locally.
Nigeria gave commitment to improve access to sanitation from the current 31% to 65% and potable water supply from 58% to 75% by 2015.
I have been to several international fora on water and sanitation. We have talked a lot. We have come with several declarations. We have had several commitments. If I take it in 2008, we have what we call the Etiquette Declaration of Ministers for Sanitation. We have the Tunis Ministerial Declaration on Water in 2008. We have the Sharm el-Sheikh Heads of States Declaration and Commitment on Water and Sanitation. We are having series and series of commitment and declaration. It's time we walk the talk.
If Nigeria meets her commitments this time, 70 million more people will have access to decent sanitation, while water will reach 48 million more people, especially in the rural areas where safe water is still a pipe dream. O.C. Elama, AIT News, Abuja.